Hello and welcome to another episode of the Just Go Watch podcast. Ignore my co-hosts. One of them is dying and one of them is probably already dead. A little bit of an atypical start, actually, but welcome, the Just Go Watch podcast. We are back again reviewing Alien Romulus.
There's something in the water. There's something in the water.
Did you understand much of this film? Actually,
No,
no.
I didn't understand a word that guy said through the whole movie until he was like, "Oh, I'm dying." I was like, "Okay, I got that."
Oh, I'm dying. If only I had the ability to move. Oh,
Yeah.
Listen, ankle deep water. You know, people drown in that. We are, of course, back. We're on YouTube. We are on podcasts. You've got Movie Psycho, Adeej, and Hatchaplan. Your, am I host? I don't know.
No,
Joke's getting
no
old
way.
now, isn't it? I'm here.
No
here.
way.
You're here.
no way.
Deej, how you feeling?
Oh, terrible, boy. Terrible. I feel like there should be like 6 African men dancing around carrying me in a coffin at the moment.
Let me tell you, if you were in a coffin, they would be dancing.
That's
awful
thing
to say, isn't it?
That's
awful.
That is
isn't it?
awful thing to say.
Do you know what? The
My
last,
legs no longer carry.
Do you know the last funeral I went to where there was serious dancing was, of course, was Jules's.
I know.
Yeah,
Which was ironic because he died because he was dancing in a club.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've not actually seen a celebration that big since Star Wars: A New Hope.
I'll just celebrate his life. I knew that he was going to Valhalla because the dance he was doing was a war hacker, and that qualifies. So
that sounds like Julesy. But I just feel sorry for whichever floor he was stomping on because the infrastructure there, the structural.
Many mole people died that day.
Yeah. Oh dear. Before we get started, then, MP, say your thing. Justify your existence.
Justify my existence. All right. Let's do the YouTuber / podcaster mumbo jumbo. If you are listening or found us or watching us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave comments. We'd love to hear from you. For our podcast listeners, again, same thing. If you can like, subscribe, follow our podcast on whatever service you're listening to it on, that would be great. You can also reach us on our social media on Instagram and Twitter /X at Just Go Watch Pod. Again, recommend the show. If you go and leave a 5-star review on our whatever podcasting service you are, DM us, take a screenshot and DM us. We'll send you out a little merchandise. We've had a few this week, so we're off to a good start on that. It's always nice to get a little love from the fans and a little love back from us here at Just Go Watch. Tell all your friends and family to listen to the show or watch it on YouTube. If you love the show, if you hate it, go tell your enemies to watch and listen. We don't care. We'll take everybody. Hatch, the floor is yours now, sir.
Lovely. It's nice to have it back, actually. That was probably a little bit too long where I hadn't heard my own voice. So.
I know it. I was getting worried that my mic might get cut off.
No, it's I'm so excited to be here talking about another Alien film. Long-time listeners will know that I and you as well, MP, to be fair, we are massive fans of the original Alien stuff. Less so the newer bits.
Sorry. Just pause there. Don't pause the pod. No. Let's God. No. A pause of your nonsense is what I'm suggesting, because the fact that you said to long time listeners who will have heard both Julesy and I before he passed away really glorified the Aliens franchise and our love for it, and you've just, the way you said that has really and truly offended me. And I do hope now that the hate I wish on the YouTube watchers last week who downgrade us, I now pass on to you, and I do hope that all the bad things in life happen to you and only you.
Okay, yeah, all right. I mean, I was probably reminded because MP and I were talking while we were waiting for you to log on. So I apologize for that. I apologize for that. I'm just glad actually that your tirade there lasted a little bit less than it did last week. Because
But I don't actually wish that level of hate upon you as I did last week.
no, that went on. That was a lot of hate. I felt
listened to it.
secondhand hate.
I listened to it back, and I was like, it actually wasn't that long. I thought to myself, listen, let me listen to the last plot review you did, and then listen to those rants and see if I have committed the same sin, or listen to one of your stories. And I was like, nah, not even in the same ballpark, bro. Not even in the. If I'd have gone on and carried on the curse all the way through the generations of his family, reaching 10 generations down the line, I still would have been in good time.
Very good, actually, very good. Well, listen, we've we've rambled on for 5.5 minutes without talking about the film, so let's rectify that. Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, with Ridley Scott probably looking dangerously over his shoulder at everything he did, with a runtime of 119 minutes and a budget of anybody?
There's no way on God's green earth this is less than 200 million. I won't believe it. So I'm going to say 200 million, but I do believe it can be north of that.
Okay.
Ooh, I will go less. I'll go 110 million.
Boys. Listen, you guys are often messed up in this Marvel world. The budget of this movie was 80 million.
At the end of the day,
I was closest. I got that one.
You were closest.
I thought you meant the budget of the Alien franchise in general, not this film. This film,
no, I'm very clear. I'm very clear about that.
No.
I'm very clear about that.
Also,
listen, there's about 6 or 7 films now, and you think it's only 200 million.
Well,
that's not what I said either. You're misconstruing things. You're twisting my words, and there is an explanation, but we don't have the time to get into it. But let's just say that I won that one, and now let's go to the box office.
Okay.
For you will know him, for he will justify his failures.
He will change the rules to make the outcome in his favor.
So what do you think for the box office then?
Well, we're seeing it on a Sunday. I don't know, man, because I don't know if they've got the whole weekend yet. Can I tell you what I think it's expected to make?
The numbers are are in.
I reckon 50 million.
Okay.
I don't know. This seems like, it's the only big movie coming out. It's an Alien franchise, got a big name attached to it in that regard. People know it. I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go 80 million.
108.
Oh man.
Fucking hell, that's Deadpool and Wolverine level numbers.
It's there.
It has
won both rounds. Go to MP. I might mark this down on my calendar. This is a special day.
And you will know him, or he will fail on occasions, but will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes.
Yes. All right. So, being the biggest Alien fan on the pod, I suppose.
No, sir.
Let me begin.
To be fair,
let me begin.
MP, you were at the premiere for Alien when it first came out, weren't you?
Boy, that's the second time this week you've reminded me of my age, sir.
Didn't get ID'd either.
I will tell you, I actually did see Alien in the movie theater.
Wow.
I was far too young. My dad was like, we're going to see a space movie like Star Wars. And it was not like Star Wars.
No, I bet you were still towering over everyone, though.
Yes, well, naturally.
Yeah.
I emerged from like the alien in this movie. I emerged at 7 feet tall. Kicking British guys' asses all the way.
Oh, well. That's what they're there to do. All right, so we pick up. This film is set 20 years after Alien, but before Aliens. It's on another planet. They're terraforming, and the first opening scene is the Weyland-Yutani guys who have found the wreckage of the Nostromo and have taken the alien from that first film, which has cocooned itself. Meanwhile, we meet Rain, who's on a planet mining with her android brother, who is a bit of a derelict android with a few malfunctions. She's hired by another group of her friends, including potentially her ex-lover, to look into this space station that has been derelict, that has crashed above them, which they think will have some pods, which they can use to jettison themselves to pastures far and green. They arrive at the station, but unfortunately, it's the one where they brought the xenomorph at the beginning of the film, which is now run rampant, and there's all kinds of face huggers and other aliens about. Majority of the crew are killed, and Andy, the android, is taken over and tries to start doing things for the corporation, but he's knocked back to his senses, and him and Rain are able to defeat the alien, as well as a new Xeno offspring that's mixed with the guys from Prometheus and Covenant, whatever they were, but they're able to kill it and set themselves into hypersleep.
I am sorry, MP. I am sorry. I am sorry.
That wasn't
sorry.
that wasn't that bad.
I should have said yes. I should have said yes.
You
I'm
should
sorry.
That wasn't bad.
Oh, I'm
Game
sorry.
over, man. Game over, man.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm not
We're
having it.
fucked.
Anyway,
Oh.
the plot summaries you do are full of inconsistencies and things that are
Oh.
incorrect.
My disease progressed to near fatal levels in the time it took you to do that.
It is.
I wish it had taken you all the way.
What a horrible thing to say.
Podcast ain't over yet.
I refuse to accept that plot summary was a bad one. That was nice and tight, that one.
No, listen, if you read line for line the script of the film, right, it would be a good plot summary because it would be the whole film, but it wouldn't change the fact that years of my life just eroded away before my eyes.
I'm not having it at all. I'm not having it.
So,
that wasn't. I'm going to read that one back. That's going to be
my
like your.
legs no longer carry me.
That's the plot there.
That is the plot.
There we are.
That is the plot. There we are.
Do you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to have to start putting tags of when the actual review starts.
You might have to.
It's YouTube video. Yeah, for the
Skip
benefit
to
of
this
you.
time code to hear the actual
Yeah.
review.
Yeah. All right, so that's the plot summary. MP, you're the biggest fan after me, so why don't you give us
All
your...
right, go ahead and start.
your
Yes. All right, Alien Romulus. Well, as you have mentioned, I am old, and I did see Alien and Aliens in the movie theater, and I have this great. I mean, we could. I will take a little pity on my other co-host and not ramble on for 2 hours about Alien and Aliens and how great they are. But yeah, I'm a huge fan. Alien is probably top 2 or 3 favorite horror movie of all time. So I really was excited going into this movie. Again, the franchise has been hit or miss ever since, probably mostly miss. So I was kind of a little trepid, but the first trailer I saw, I really liked it. And then I didn't watch any other trailers, trying to avoid spoilers, which I guess gave away some of the other killings. But anyway, so I went into this hopeful. I was like, oh, if we could just get a good Alien. I was hoping it was going to be kind of in the vein of the that movie Prey that came out a few years ago that kind of rebooted the Predator series, where they kind of took it back to its roots. And I like that. I was like, all right, that's all I need. I need a, they're stuck on a spaceship, fucking face huggers and aliens are killing them. Let's go. And going into the movie very early on, it looks great. I'm going to say all the way through this movie, it absolutely looks amazing. Fede Alvarez, you can tell he really loved that I don't know what you would say, the atmosphere of Alien and all the technology that went around with it, the spaceships. I liked how kind of in the space, when things were out in space, like the ships moving around, they kind of adhered to how quiet it would be in space in actuality. And then you had like jarring noises when you were inside spaceships. But anyway, he really cared about the world, the way it looked. It kind of, you can mesh it in with the original Alien and into Aliens, how the tech looks and everything like that. So the practical effects, the way the aliens look, the face huggers, you can tell that the people made this movie, they weren't cash grabbing. Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but there was a lot of love in this movie as far as putting it together. I liked the 2 leads, the cast, Rain, what was her name? Kaylee Spaney or something like that. She was good. Yeah. I really liked the guy that played Andy, David Johnson. I think he did a really good job. As you said in your plot summary there, that he kind of switches. Once they get to the space station, he has like an upgrade. And it was really cool how he goes from like this meek, kind of timid beta male all the way. And now all of a sudden he's like this alpha male kind of. It was really cool how he switched over. And you were always on edge. Like, because all these synthetic people all the way through these movies are always, you don't know what they are, if they're good or bad. So it was really cool how he did all that. So I liked all that. The rest of the cast was pretty much just fodder. You knew who, like the pregnant girl, you knew something was going to come of that. And then the two British guys, I have to say, I really did enjoy when the aliens just fucked them up. I was rooting for the aliens at that point. I was like, kill them British bastards. But anyway, I won't let my personal feelings after being on the show for a while, change my review here. But no, I really did like those parts of the movie. And then there's the actual story of the movie that, for me as an Alien fan and aliens and all that, it just, oh my God, it killed me. This movie is very copy and paste. And maybe I'm just reaching a point where I'm tired of fan service as well, but it's just like they were taking scenes and characters directly from other movies and putting them into this thing where you're just like, this is reminding me of Alien and Aliens. And that's not what you wanted. I wanted their own thing. Even if it was a simple story that followed a simple line, I wanted it to be its own thing. Instead, there's Ash, and he's doing a huge exposition dump, so our characters don't have to learn anything. They just get told what they're going to do. And there's a scene where she's learning her gun, just like they did in Aliens. And there's dialogue that isn't earned. When that one guy said, "Get away from her, you bitch," I was like, fuck you, you didn't earn that line. Ripley earned that line. They shit over Ripley a lot in this movie. So that really drug it down for me, because I was just like, why are you doing it this way? And I know you had mentioned Ridley Scott. I felt his fingers in the script, especially when you got to the Prometheus stuff. I was like, that he's like, all right, I'll support this movie, but you better have some of my shit in this movie and tie it all together. So that really drug it down for me. And I've struggled with my rating. As an Alien fan, I'd probably go with a 5. But from the movie side, it's well put together, acted. If you don't know anything about Alien, or you just sort of have a passing interest in it, you'll probably think this is like a 7 or 7.5. So I'll kind of split the difference, and I'll go with 6.
All right. Deej, if you're still with us, take it away.
Yeah. So MP essentially summarizes a lot of the things I would say about this film. The beginning part, I was like, this Weyland-Yutani mining place looks top notch, and it's kind of filling out like the alien world is such a depressing world. I've always thought that, like, I don't ever get any sense of hope in the alien world, and on that first ship, it's all, it's cold, it's derelict, it's space, it's really, there's nothing warm about the ship itself. And then Aliens is, again, it's just this company that's cold-hearted, and they just want to and give a shit about life and stuff. And then Alien 3, you're on this horrible prison world, and I'm just like, it is a really depressing world that they built up. And I've really felt that in that kind of mining coming out, when they were just like, oh yeah, you've done 12 years, you need to do another 12. I was like, what? You can't just tack on another 12 years like that. That's crazy. So I thought that they did that really well, and it looked, like MP says, like $1 million. I think, just FYI, listeners, if my dogs start barking, it's because my delivery's here. Just have to let that go. Then when it all begins, like, when you really get into it, you are just kind of like, this really is just a mixture of Alien and Aliens, which is, in some senses, no bad thing, because those films are just elite. They are just, I happen to be one of the ones that prefers Aliens to Alien, but I mean, they're both like 9s. They're both like nigh on perfect films, like amazing. But this is just kind of, it's a rehashing. It's almost the Force Awakens kind of situation, where you're kind of rehashing all the best bits from those films to kind of make a new film, servicing the people like us who know it, and also trying to draw in those people that don't know it, which works to some extent, because I did enjoy it. Anytime I'm seeing facehuggers and xenomorphs is a good time. But I was a bit like, there's no originality, and also you are kind of shitting all over the mythology, because unless I'm wrong, like, maybe I've got this wrong, and if I am, I apologize, but in that first one, I'm pretty sure that, like, she gets that face hugger on her, and then it's days until the alien comes out, and then once the alien comes out, it takes a while for it to become full grown. In this, everything happens in a fucking in a moment. Like, the one that comes out at the end is literally like a baby, and then like 10 seconds later, it's a full grown fucking 8-foot thing. Like, there's just, you know, and that kind of thing to me is really sloppy filmmaking, which I don't associate with Alien. So that knocks it down for me. So overall, I did really enjoy it. It was an Alien film, but I can also see all the criticisms that MP saying I share them. So for me, though, I did enjoy it. So I'll say it's a 7.
Yeah, I found this film so difficult to judge on. I didn't really think much. The trailer did my head in. I said to you both before, try and not watch it. If you didn't, I saw it kind of accidentally. I forget what I was watching, but yeah, and they're like, oh, that person's got a face hugger on them, right? So I know they're dead. Oh, delivery's here. Like, it was so frustrating. Watching that fucking trailer. People said the trailer was really, really good. Trailer gave away half the fucking movie. It's an Alien film. People are going to go see it. You don't need to tell me the whole film.
Right.
Don't show me who's getting a face hugger on them. Don't show me those kind of things.
Yeah, agreed.
Drives me mad. You will get bums in seats for an Alien film, especially when you have the look and feel of some of the originals. And this was definitely way more in Aliens territory. And to an extent, you know, Alien 3 and Alien 4, they still had that similar aesthetic compared to Covenant and Prometheus, which were like, I don't know, it was almost like watching a super modern thing. That some of the technology they had made me kind of question when that actually was. And putting it kind of between Alien and Aliens was maybe like, look, we really want to put our feet in this camp. I thought the film started really well, like that mining thing. It looked grim, it looked lived in. It didn't look like a set, and it was massive props for some of the physicality they used in the sets, in the props, in some of the aliens and stuff. There was some CGI, some of it better than others. Which again, I mean,
we'll get to that.
we'll get to that. But Jesus, but I thought it was really good. The crew, I was a little bit lost because I was a bit like, why are they going to it? Why is not? How are they going to it? And again, we'll kind of talk more about that in the main review. Don't want to bog it down. I loved Andy. I thought he was the acting was unbelievable. I thought he was absolutely quality when he changed. And even just like the whole kind of thing. I guess he was an android, like straight from the off, the way he was. But yeah, like he was absolutely quality. And then Rain did a good job as well as kind of the leading lady. Everyone else was kind of a byproduct. Even like her kind of semi love interest guy or ex was just like, they were good. They weren't bad, but some of them were like, okay, you're going to be the really annoying one. You're going to be the one that dies first, and you're going to be a side piece in the movie, but you're going to be needed later on because you're pregnant. So I felt I could have maybe done with a couple extra characters. I don't know. I really struggled with this one. I really enjoyed some aspects of it, but I found I was sucked out by, yes, the stupid callbacks. And this film made me really think about what makes a homage, what makes like a little nod to a previous film, and what is a straight up copy. At what point do you break that? And for me, this one broke it and went too far.
Yeah,
taking outright lines that are like, why would he say that there?
Yes.
To get away from her, you bitch. I was in my audience, the cinema. I actually went on a Friday night, guys, and it was a packed cinema. Do you know what? I enjoyed it because it was people who were obviously, because it was like the first night it was out. It was obviously fans of it, and you know, everyone was quiet. Everyone was good, you know, for the quiet bits. But for that thing, people were like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, no, that doesn't fucking work. I felt that there was like, I was watching this as a big fan of the Alien franchise, and I wonder if you were a lesser fan, like, I don't know, Deej or something, you might enjoy it a bit more.
I do
because you don't recognize some of it. But I'd be like, oh, that's from Alien. Oh, that's from Aliens. Oh, that's from Alien 4. Like, oh, that's a little bit of Alien 3 where you got different type of, you know. And I was like, why could you not either keep it simple and just, you've tried to take too much and you've ended up not doing anything. Having said that, I fucking love seeing Alien back on the screen. And whilst this film has loads of flaws, I did really enjoy it. And it's not often I say this, but I'd probably go back to the cinema and watch it again. And my enjoyment of it will 100%. I'll be the first to admit 100% this will be tainted because of my love for just seeing Alien on screen and seeing more of that universe. I gave it 7.5.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Have you caught what Deja's got? Y'all been hanging out together? You got that virus?
I think I gave it to him.
Were you hugging each other's faces?
This is what I had a few weeks ago, I reckon, and just it's gone through the microphone.
It explains everything.
It's just going to take a bit longer for it to get to you, MP, because
because of the Atlantic Ocean. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
a big.
I am safe.
It's a
Well,
big
all
thing.
right, all right. Well, what was that? 6, 7, and a 7.5.
Yeah. Mm.
I think we
Uh,
learned about who the real Alien fans are there.
Well, I mean, we've all
Yeah.
given it different marks, mate. So that doesn't really compute, does it?
Well, obviously, I'm saying you keep saying MP is the biggest, and he can't be if we've given those marks. That's the joke, isn't it? Obviously.
I don't know. Is it? Maybe he's the one who's true to it? Who knows? Anyway,
Well,
Yeah,
obviously, it's a
let's,
joke. It's not
I
a
am.
serious comment.
I don't know you. Everything you say is just in this monotone with the slight nasaliness to it. So I just can't tell if you're joking or anything. Plus, autism. Let's get the alien in the room out of the way with that god awful CGI. What the
Oh
fuck
my
were they
God,
doing?
it was so bad. Both.
I don't want to talk about it
instances.
too much because, it was obviously oh yeah, wouldn't it be good if we put him in it? And they'd be like, "What are you talking
Oh
about?
my
We've
Are we
already
talking
done the
about
budget."
Ash?
Yeah.
We're talking about Ash.
Well,
That was
Rook is his
what?
name in the
Why?
film.
Why?
Exactly? Why?
Why can they not do that yet? Though I don't understand because deepfake technology is so good now.
Yeah.
How is there literally government whole departments designed to dispel fake news because deep faking is so good now, and Hollywood continues to use this stupid face mapping
God, it was so
technology,
bad.
which is so awful.
His
But
mouth.
also,
did
why
not
did you
line
even?
up with
Why did you even
dialogue.
need to put him in anyway?
Exactly.
All
we
of the other films, they've got different androids in.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
you can look at it and go, "There's Ash. There's Ash. Yay! Let me clap."
Yeah, and that's the thing. Unless you're a massive fan of it, you're not going to recognize him anyway.
No.
So for your new fans coming in, who you're obviously trying to draw in with a lot of this, it's an irrelevant thing. And surely that's for your old fans. I'm okay, but in Aliens, it was a different type of thing and different type of android. Alien 3, I don't think had an android.
Yeah, it
Am I right
did.
in thinking that?
Yeah, it
Wasn't
did.
there a bishop at the end?
There's a bishop. No. She rescues old bishop on the
Yeah,
crash.
that's
Yeah,
site.
but that's still the same.
One.
That's the same. That's the same model,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's not like a.
And then you see
and
the
then-
actual bishop.
Yeah.
Who's actually works for the
And
company.
then in 4,
it was
there one? There
Winona
was.
Ryder.
Yeah,
Winona Ryder. Yeah, she was.
That's
was it
right.
Call.
And then obviously you had David and I forget what the other name is. Of both played by Fassbender. So,
Yeah.
but you didn't need to. You've
No.
got evidence before of it being a different thing. So just have it as some generic. Some generic
and
person.
then they make him such a part of the movie. That was what at first I was like, okay, that's kind of all right. They're gonna give us that because why the hell not? We can't have an original idea. But I thought, okay, they'll show him, and then that'll be the end of that. And he just kept showing back up and showing back. I was like, holy shit, you're killing me with this. He's not. This should not have been, like you said. It should have been a whole different character. Or if you wanted to show him, it's like a 2-minute, oh, look at this android found, and we would all be like, oh, that looks like Ash, and then that's it.
At least they do try and explain it. They do try and explain it, don't they? When they say,
they do, but
when
it's
he
just
says to Andy,
explanation.
he's like, oh, you're the Andy model that carried us forward for however long or whatever.
Yeah.
So again, I'm guessing you're supposed to believe that there was the Andy model and then the Ash model and then the Bishop model and stuff.
But it's not that, we're talking it's another 30 years before Aliens.
Exactly.
Could it not have been? This is 20 years since Alien. Could there not be another one? I don't know. It also just, for me, you've almost you've created an issue. Whereas if you just had another android, it'd have been okay, a complete non-issue. My theory is,
it didn't add anything to the film.
No, it didn't. This film was supposed to go to streaming. It was supposed to be a direct to Disney, a bit like Prey was. And I think maybe there was a late decision about, actually, this is pretty good. Let's get a cinema release. But can we do something about this? Could we maybe, you know what I mean, some studio execs got involved or some shit.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
thought
can we
that
get another couple of, that'd be my suggestion.
Yeah, I thought that after I got out, I was like, how much of this was because I've seen some stuff where Fede Albert, he's a huge fan. You can't go to that painstaking detail on all the environments and the spaceships and the creatures and have them practical without being a fan of this. So I don't know how much is this is him going, okay, well, I'm going to fanboy it out and basically make a, what was it, $80-90 million fan film, because that's what this is. Or if they said, here, we want you to do this alien movie. And he's like, hell yeah, sign me up. And then after he gets going, they're like, well, okay, well, we need this, and that. Like I said, that whole stuff with Prometheus and the black goo, every time they showed anything like that, I was like, that's Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott came in here and said, no, if you want me to be a part of this, then you need to connect it to what I did before.
Can I just pause it there and say,
wait, actual pause or
controversy? Never gets old. I actually quite like the link to Prometheus. That was one of the better bits for me.
Okay,
because,
fair enough. But
well, I don't
like...
want to say one of the better bits. I don't want to say one of the better bits, but I like the fact that it's not just like, oh, right, we're just going to ignore everything that came before. It was quite, and it didn't become like a major part of it in the sense of like, if you hadn't seen Prometheus, it wouldn't really have mattered to you.
No.
But if you've seen Prometheus,
No,
it's a good little, bit.
Until you get to
I
the
think
third
that was
act
the
and Prometheus
that was
baby
the smart
comes
thing to do.
out.
But I think that was the, you kind of, Covenant and Prometheus didn't really work out, and they were like the wrong way to go with these. However, they have been made. I don't hate them. I just don't
I didn't
think
mind
they were
Covenant.
like,
Prometheus.
no. And then I was like, I just kind of thought you didn't have to do these in this way, and if you'd gone safer with more alien stuff, you'd have had better success. Like the fucking alien, it's Alien. It's called Alien, mate. Get some fucking aliens in there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you're going to connect something to it, don't make it this like philosophical, what is life? Like, it's not, it's not that type of film. But then just to ignore it would have been silly. And also, yeah, as you say, like the black goo and stuff like that, if you can take away, I don't want some android to have created the aliens. But I don't mind having some sort of link to it. And they did it in a subtle way where, yeah, as you said, like you could have almost not seen them, but still kind of follow. Like the black goo, like we found this is the fountain of evolution, blah, 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 blah. Like,
Did you ever explain, because maybe I missed it, because they kept holding on to that little container of goo all the way through. I think even when they get on the shuttle to leave at the end, she's
still got it?
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
she's
why
still,
are they holding on?
because that was the
After you saw that pregnant girl who
that was the
is stupid and sticks the shit right in her neck.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous decision from her. But that was the proviso. So Rook, the other android, the Ash android, he would only open. So his directive was to keep that goo safe because that's the company's work. He would open the shuttle doors and allow them safe exit if they took that goo.
If they took the goo with them, all right.
If they took the goo, yeah. So then she was like, "Well, I've got it." I mean, she could obviously just jettison it as soon as he goes out. But yeah, I mean, that's how you can kind of continue the story, I guess. I thought she was good. I didn't like, and again, she doesn't have to be Ripley. She doesn't have to be.
Oh God, they had like shots like directly lifted from other Alien.
That bit where it opens up, that door opens up when she goes back down with the gun. Like you're like, oh my God,
you don't have to do that. That's what takes me out of this movie. It's like you don't do that, because now I'm sitting in a theater going, man, I really loved Aliens. That was a great movie. This is not Aliens, and now I'm already bringing the movie down.
Yeah, I said to you like before we started recording, I was like, man, I just want to watch Aliens again now. I want to watch Aliens. I don't know. I'll watch Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. I'll do it.
I'll do it.
There's so many in this where I was just like,
oh yeah,
what? Why have you
even
done
the
that?
creature at the end? That was,
if you had it.
Go on.
Go on. The creature at the end is Aliens Resurrection. It's almost following that same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's got 100%. Alien. It's got the alien
100%.
aspect. It's got aliens. I mean, yeah, the only thing it doesn't borrow so much heavily from is Alien 3. But yeah,
Underrated
Resurrection
film.
it's got in there. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it. I like the idea. It progressed the alien physiology a little bit more. You know, comes out of a dog. It's slightly different. And then walks more on the hind, like on all fours. I think that's a great little thing. I want to see it coming out of like a cow or a horse, you know, or a bear. That'd be great.
What if it came out of like a chihuahua?
Yeah. Also, though, if it tries to jump on a bear, the bear's just ripping through the little like thing it shoves down your throat. Also,
100%.
that bit where the girl got it, and then it was like they were pulling it off her. Jesus, that thing went far down her throat. I was like, that was
well,
graphic.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, their biology is a little bit different for everybody. We're not all built the same, so sometimes things go a little deeper than what you might be used to.
I just kept pulling out. I thought, damn.
Well, that's what
that little alien did not have far to go by the time it came out. You know?
Well, this is a decidedly taking a turn for the worst.
I will say though, it was kind of dumb though, because they have her there with the face hugger on there, and the Ash or Rook, he's basically explaining what's going to happen to her, and they have access to their spaceship. So I mean, logically, if we were all on a spaceship and one of us got one of them on there, and something's saying, okay, there's going to be something bad going to happen to her, why would you stay on the ship? Why would you not just get the hell out of there at that point?
Well, it all goes with tits, doesn't it? When that English guy makes ridiculous decisions.
Yeah, and he runs in there.
Which one? The dickhead one.
Something in the water.
Yeah. He did do my name.
Yeah, he was the most annoying one, and he was too cliche annoying,
and he was stupid.
His out of the way, man. One of the worst deaths I've ever seen in my life.
Roll out of the way, man.
Yeah, that was like the first splash on you, and he's like looking up, like that fucking hurt. That fucking hurt. Why would you not? He's not incapacitated. Like you just knock to the floor.
Way.
Just roll. That was the only thing with it. I kept thinking, why have you not rolled? Why have you not rolled? Why have you not rolled? Oh, too late, idiot.
Maybe he was in too much shock trying to decipher from the script how this alien had grown to full size within the space of about 4 minutes.
The giant space kind of stuck to the wall.
I did like that though. I did like that.
I did. I thought that was a cool way to show how it progressed from the little one to the bigger one. But like you said, it's so quick. You know what I mean? It's too quick. They don't have time to process anything until the aliens are out. And even the aliens, as cool as it was to see them, they really didn't do anything. They killed the one dude, and that was it. And then she shoots them all. And like, I like the acid scene where she's having to navigate around in the zero gravity. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was good.
That was inventive. I think the thing for me is that when they initially boarded and they were like, you have 36 hours until we, decide to destroy the ship because it's going to hit the rings or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, 36 hours. Like, could you not have? You could have definitely made this over a bit longer, because that's, I'm sure the first Alien film, like, there's bits where the trouble with the film is it doesn't have, because it's such a short space of time. There's no moments to like have that bit of quiet where they take stock, which I think are so important. You think Aliens when they make it out and then they're like, we just got our asses kicked, man. And then they have that like, right, okay, we need to come up with a backup plan. Bishop, what we got, that kind of, and you almost have that little bit of quiet before they reassess and go back in. Alien, you have several kind of bits where they've like locked themselves in rooms. They're trying to come up with a plan, and they come up with the old flamethrower things. Obviously, it ends up not working out. But in this one, it was as soon as they like started going and killing, I was thinking, oh look, and then because of that, the flame thing. Now you've got 40 minutes. I was like, 40 minutes. This whole film's going to basically take this time on. Just didn't seem enough for me.
Well,
like I wanted things to marinate a little bit. I wanted to enjoy like getting to know these people and stuff.
You can't have the high bits if you don't have the low bits, right?
No, exactly.
You need those. Like, that bit in Aliens where my favorite scene of all of them in the whole Aliens film is when they're in that room. They're like, It's getting closer, man. They're in the fucking room, man, and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then she pokes her head up above, and they're coming along, right? And that bit is just, I mean, absolutely epic. But you can't
That's one of the
have
best
that if
bits.
you
That's
don't
one of the
allow
best
the
bits
bit
in
of
cinema for
quiet
me.
beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have that little bit of quiet beforehand where they're chilling and regrouping, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's almost like the first
Yeah.
Alien. The first Alien, I remember as a kid. I love that film now, but as a kid, I remember thinking it was a bit boring because it takes so long to
Yeah,
move into
yeah.
it. And as you get older, you realize how well shot it is and what a great film it is and how that build actually adds to it. But as a kid, I remember thinking, God, not much is happening here. Whereas in this film, kind of something was happening all the time because this,
Yeah,
they're going to die from the aliens, they're going to die from the rings,
That's
I
what
will
made
say,
the
though,
first two so great, especially Alien, and why I love it so much is just how they let the crew learn. So you're as an audience member, this is again, if you've seen it for the first time, you've never seen it before, you're having to figure this out with the audience. So those slow periods are, they can be classified as boring, but it's actually you're learning not only the characters in the ship and actually liking them. So when they do get killed, you feel something, but you're actually learning about this creature because they've never met it. So now you're learning, okay, from the face hugger, and then it gets bigger and all these things. And even in Aliens, they kind of play with it because they're like, okay, as an audience member, you're like Ripley in Aliens, like what's out there. But you have these badass Marines who are like, fuck, we're going to kick everything's ass. We got all this weapon. So now they get down and we're like, no. But then they have to learn how to adjust to not just one alien, but this whole thing. And then you learn more about like the Queen and everything. So it's well paced and it gives you those moments to slow down and learn about things. This movie, like I said, you get the Ash character, or Rook. Throughout the movie, he just tells them what they need to know. So they're not learning anything new or anything. So you're not getting invested in that. You're also not having those times with these characters. I can't remember.
I feel like it was almost
the other ones.
I feel like it was almost a conscious choice by the director to say, look, I know the audience already know all this stuff and I don't want to spend time with these characters having to learn it. So this guy's going to be a plot device to kind of give them that information quickly, where, which sometimes pays off, but maybe in this instance, it kind of removed from the journey of the characters a little bit.
Yeah, at least
I appreciated the attempt to kind of change things up a little bit, like make the face huggers more of a continuous threat. Like,
yeah, they were nasty, weren't they?
Like seeing them crawling along the floor. I mean, there's something almost
flooding out of that
creepier.
door. I was like, oh god, that was
yeah. They seem almost creepier like that, and it's. I mean, the scene in Aliens where you've got Newt and Ripley who have gone for a little nap, and then there's a couple of them released into there. That's one of the more tense scenes, isn't it? Actually, when you think about the whole movie, it almost seems odd to say that, but that is one of the more tense scenes because they're unarmed and they've got these two little creepy things in there. It's almost like an arachnid thing, isn't it? So like that. I did like that kind of thing to do it, but then I found the aliens themselves were a little bit limp throughout, apart from the one that kills or the first one that kills guy, and even then he does it by accident because he just gets dripped on with acid.
Because he won't move. Just move.
And then they kill like the X, the love interest, whatever you want to call it.
Guy. You can't remember his name.
Even he, but that was an identical kill to. It was almost the same as what's his name in the first film when he's in the pipes with the flamethrower. And one of them
Dallas
comes in from the side. It's like the clever girl type thing, even though he's already been stabbed. But again, you saw it coming. It wasn't a shock. He literally jumps in front of it. So it was like, oh, well, obviously he's going to die. It wasn't like they're having a calm conversation and suddenly...
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird, too, because he was yelling at it like, is that all you got? And I was like, you aren't doing it. It was like they were trying to give him like a Hudson death where he's shooting at him, talking shit.
But they won't let him shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. He was going to 100% in that situation. You're forgetting about the acid thing, and you're like, "Holy fucking shit!" And you're going to start blasting. But they can't let him do that because then the acid's going to drop and they're going to decompress. And they you can't have that. So instead, he's just going to shout some weird shit and not do fucking thing and just allow himself
harsh
to die.
language.
Yeah. I had to keep this one for Close Encounters. But then
I-
there's so many
Aliens
there's
was
so
so
many
good.
things.
Damn it, let's talk about Aliens. Can we just go ahead and
Yeah.
talk about Aliens?
One day we will review that one, because although Deej said it was a 9, I believe that is a 10. Because you got to give some 10s sometimes. You have to give a 10 if a movie is that good. There's just, I'm fully aware that I am taken with the fact that it is Alien and it had the aesthetic, and I do think there were some really good things here, but there's just so many they just copied things straight up into different circumstances. It's almost like copying some like ancient manuscript with like this elaborate wording, and you put it in your essay about like why the environment's important or something, and then so suddenly you've gone from like talking to things and then it just doesn't work. Why is she going to rescue Andy? Andy, for all you know, is still trying to kill you. I did actually buy it partially, but what they're trying to emulate is Ripley going back for Newt, and it hadn't earned the same thing. Having said that, though, I really felt for Andy, and I think he was portrayed so well. I was like,
he was.
He was the best thing.
I want
to
go back. I want to go back for. I'd go back for him there, and he's like on the
best
floor
thing in this
shaking.
film, I think.
Oh,
I
100%.
I agree.
100%. That performance, like the switch, the accent, everything, the
It
movement,
was amazing.
it's just like, he's even like stuttering in the first bit, because his processors aren't working correctly or whatever. He needs an update. That was just absolutely perfect, I thought.
I almost wish they wouldn't have taken the chip back out, and he would have had to sort of had a crisis inside of himself, like the good Andy versus whatever the corporate Andy they want him to be, and he has to make that decision to save her. You know what I mean? Instead of them just pulling out, oh, now he's good Andy again.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
that's
get
how
that,
computers
then,
work, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thing
I
about them. It's like
wouldn't.
they're not. You can't give them that kind of autonomy, because then the whole program inside of it.
Sci-fi, we could play around with it a little bit.
Well, I mean, you could do it, yeah, but it kind of the whole thing
The only
about
way it'd
these
work-
films is that all these androids are always like they're doing what they're told, aren't they? Like you never get a sense in any of these films that they are kind of going beyond their programming. If you know what I mean?
The only way it would work is if you'd said, "Oh, this program allows me more, like free will or something." But
It was just a little thing.
we would know that the older
it didn't
ones-
ruin it for me.
the
I
older
just
ones
thought,
don't.
that would have been cool if he had some kind of like conflict within himself. But again, didn't ruin anything.
I would have
feel like
liked
this
it
film.
if he'd taken the update and been fully him, but with the update.
Oh,
Do you know what I
you
mean?
gonna
As in,
take
like,
this
with
update?
because he said he was like, it was giving him an update that was allowing him better motor function. It would have been nice if that update had stayed, but he went back to being a bit weak and soft, didn't he?
Yeah, crazy
Still
strong.
Great performance. Yeah,
Crazy strong. He's so strong.
Yeah,
When he caught that lift, I was like,
Yeah.
right, they've undersold how strong these androids are throughout the rest of these films. Like,
I don't know if he'd be that strong. Like, that seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he was.
That's
he
like,
literally
why is
caught a
Bishop?
falling
Why
lift.
is Bishop getting taken out by that stupid queen in Aliens? Do you know what I mean? Should have ripped her in half.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I was literally thinking, like, no way would any of these aliens be able to defeat this Superman level.
Yeah, you could just create an army of them to go in there and fight the aliens.
Yeah. This film, I feel like as a bridge between Alien 1 and 2, if you saw them in order, like if you'd never seen any of them, you watch them in order now, you'd probably think it was excellent, because you'd think Alien is assuming you're an adult, that's a work of art, that's really good. Aliens 2, that Alien Romulus steps it up. There's similarities to the first one, but you've got this kind of more, there's a group and there's more military kind of bits in it, and then you go to Aliens further down the line and now it's full on military. You'd probably think that's a good step up, but obviously we're watching it having seen Alien and Aliens, so we can't help but say,
if you watch it
it's
in
not
order now,
it's not as good as Aliens. It's not got the action of Aliens, and it's not got the tenseness of Alien. So it's kind of stuck in a no man's land.
That's what I wish.
All the
I
lines
wish
it
it had
uses from Aliens, you would know, and then it would not have the same effect.
Do you know what, that the final scene, right? Talking about the tension, I felt the tension in that final scene. Like the ending after it ends, basically, with the little what they called
baby
the hybrid thing. But
the engineers?
The engineers. That's it. It was like an engineer with a xenomorph with a person. I didn't mind
Which
that.
I dug.
Right?
I did dig that. I did dig that. Yeah.
I did. That was the creepiest scene, and that was the tensest scene when you see it unfurling in the background, and it looks fucking creepy as. I reckon there'll be some people in the audience who think that looks ridiculous. I think its weirdness is what like creeped me out
when
the
it was
most.
smiling. It was horrible.
Yeah. It's like that wrongness of. It's like when humanity is changed. The alien is the alien, right? That's not human. This had elements of humanity, which makes it a little bit more horrific. The only thing though with it, that super tense scene, I dug it. It was for me, it was an upgrade from Resurrection when they did it.
Yeah.
But again, it does annoy me that why are you having to copy that?
Exactly.
But why the fuck is your cargo hold like you have to unlatch your cargo hold from within the cargo hold? There's no. I liked that she's unfamiliar with the ship. She has to look up the instructions. But why the fuck do you not just have a button from the outside? Like that thing could have fallen in there. She could have been like, "Fucking hell, I ain't dealing with that." Then let's boot that out. Shuts the door. Off it fucks. Why would that be the case? Imagine you have to be inside the cargo.
That's
to
a
drop
nice
it.
job.
That was mental. Whoever designed that ship.
Who gets to go into the cargo hold today and pull the trigger or pull the levers?
Well, exactly. It was fucking yeah. That was a tiny bit disappointing that she had to do that. They almost. How do we create the tension in this scene?
Plotting, man. There was a lot of that in
Probably
this.
plotting. Also, why has that pregnant woman done that stuff with her? Was she even compos mentis when the guy, the super untrustworthy version of Andy was like, yeah, put this in you. You're just going to take some weird chemical, even though you're about to be frozen and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and your friends say, don't take it, don't take it.
Yeah, your friend has said don't take it, and I mean, maybe she's like super panicky about the baby, but then definitely don't put some weird chemical inside you then.
Yeah, that was
anyone else think as well that the water guy was the father? Because they shared a moment.
Yeah, I kind of got that. That's kind of what I figured it out. Yeah,
because he said just some arsehole, and I was like, he's an arsehole.
He's an asshole. Yeah.
I thought that.
I quite like that they underplayed a lot of that. Again, same with Andy and that bloke. It was like hinted at. I would say that's a really good version. That's a really good sort of way how to subtly show without, being on the nose.
Yeah.
He's my ex. We dated for a while, but it didn't work out. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. I actually saw that.
Yeah. The one moment of subtlety in the movie.
Yeah. Why are they the only ones at the space station? How is this space station floating above a planet? And it's just
no one's noticed it.
The kids are all right. The ones who are going for it.
Yeah. That you got to really suspend. Hey, you got to suspend your belief to even get this movie started, because when the ship finds the cocoon out in the middle of there with the alien still alive in it, I was like, oh well, okay, I guess
some people are not clever, man. Some audience members are not clever, because let me tell you what I heard. Right, despite the very first bit of information you're given that they're on this planet 67 light years away from Earth, yeah. When they go up to this planet and you see the rings, the woman next to me went, "Oh, Saturn." I was like, "Oh God, yeah, you'll get where you're the audience they want."
Yep, exactly.
She came out saying 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and I loved how similar it was to the other ones, because that meant I didn't have to think. I knew exactly what they meant.
It's just like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you unbelievable. Well, do you know what? I feel like I've slagged this movie off the entire time whilst giving like minimal props. I don't know. I'm 100% biased. I'm well aware of it. But
yeah,
if someone said to me,
it's that Michael Myers factor. It's that Michael Myers factor I talked about before, where if it's something, or the Transformers thing, like ultimately, if I'm watching a Transformers film or a Halloween film, or certain types of film, it's always going to have a certain level of goodwill to it, because I'm always going to like seeing xenomorphs and face huggers and shit. And it's just like, doesn't matter if it's Alien v Predator, which is dog shit. Doesn't matter if it's Alien v Predator 2.
Alien vs Predator is one of my
well, I like it.
what
I
I
like
call
it.
them.
Pleasure.
But it is a shit film. It is a
I
shit film,
acknowledge that, and I
objectively.
still enjoy it.
But yeah. Well, you know, because ultimately it's got aliens in it and predators in it, and you can't help but love that. And it's the same with this. Like, it's got it's got xenomorph. Like, you don't need to talk about the pluses. The pluses are it's very similar to the first one and the second one, aesthetically and plot wise. And it's got aliens and it's got face huggers in it. And so if you like the first two films, you are going to enjoy this to some extent. If you're someone who critically wants to look at it and see as its own piece of art, is it something amazing? Then no, it's not. But you're still going to enjoy it if you're an Alien fan.
I think this is I'm either going to watch this and it's going to be like you said, MP, like a Force Awakens situation where I'm going to be like, this is actually pretty shit.
I actually said that.
That was
Was it
deep.
you?
I actually said that.
The Muad'Dib.
My apologies.
Speak of,
and you will
My
know
apologies.
him. You will know him, for you will repeat his words.
I actually said can we pause? Can we do a Deej pause? Like you said, I think this is gonna be a Force Awakens where I might watch this again in a year's time and be like, that's actually quite poor with a lot of it. Or I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm fully on board. It's aliens. They do some tension really well. The aesthetic is really good. You know, okay, yeah, there's a few dodgy callbacks. But apart from that, you know, there's a lot to love. I don't know. Do I come down? Maybe I come down to a 7.25.
I'm not going to come down, because what I liked about it is still what I liked about it, and it was still a decent enough film. Just to get to the higher levels, it would have had to have some originality to it. But ultimately, if you're copying two amazing films and putting aliens in there, then probably it's going to be an all right film. It's just not going to get many scores for originality.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on that 6 because, like I said, if I remove my love of Alien and just seeing this slop that they're throwing at me for remember this, remember that, clap you the seal, here's Ash, here they're quoting that line, and just clap because you love it. All right, if I could remove myself from that, like I said, I think the movie is well made. And if you're not into that and you just like I said, if your buddy or your girlfriend or husband, whatever, you're like, hey, let's go see this alien movie, I've never seen it, oh, you'll have a good time, they will enjoy it. But I just can't get over the fact that they copy too much. If it would have been just them get on the space station and they're fighting face huggers and aliens and maybe just have a nod here and there, I'd have been fine with it. But it was too much for me. But I do acknowledge that it is a well-made movie that people will enjoy if you can, like you said, the girl next to you that thought it was Saturn, if she could turn your brain way down and not, or at least not notice that stuff, you'll like it. So I'm gonna meet y'all kind of in the middle, but I'm going with staying with that 6 because that's about where it feels to me. I don't really ever want to watch it again.
Yeah. Can I say one thing as well, just before we move on? One thing I thought about at the time, I forgot to say that his explanation why I need to do all this about humans were not meant for space travel. Look at the sickness and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you think it might be more to do with the fact you've got people living in fucking mines and living in cramped living quarters, like maybe with no food, like maybe that's why. Like people are getting Lyme disease because you're making them mine. Maybe that's why. They've still got budgies going into like fucking mines and whatnot to see if it's toxic. Maybe that's the problem.
They never see the sun.
Space travel.
No plants, no nothing.
That's probably the main reason as to why humans aren't doing too well. But I think you're right. You're right. All right. Well, what does that give us then? 6, a 7, and a 7.25.
Hang on,
man. Hang on. You've gone soft on me, Hatch. When I used to listen to the show, you were a lot tougher on these movies.
Hey, listen, we've not reviewed an alien movie before, have we? What can I say? I love seeing aliens on screen, and I think this. I don't think it did a bad job.
A 6.75. So you can either have a 6.7 or a 6.8, Hatch, because we're right in the middle. So you can choose.
Oh, well, we always round up on Just Go Watch, don't we?
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right.
That's
so
what you do with children's ages.
Oh my god.
In between
Moving
1 and
swiftly on.
10, we'll say 10.
Unacceptable, is it? What is this saying on Rotten Tomatoes?
I reckon critics are going to be quite harsh on it for the reasons we've described and say like a 67, but I think audiences will like it. So I'm going 90 for the audience and 67 for critics.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go high for the audience. I'll go 90, 93 for the audience. Critics, I still think the critics are going to be kind of high because, like I said, the movie looks good and it fits into that aesthetic of Alien. So I'll go 85 for critics.
81 for critics, certified fresh, and 86 for audience.
That was lower than I thought.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Très
I think.
intéressant.
Yeah.
There
I
might
think
be a
I
little
think
hope
Raz,
out
I think
there.
a lot of people are going to like the fact that it looks good. They capture the aesthetic, and mostly the cast do quite well.
Yeah.
And then maybe they
I mean, they did it quite good, mostly.
Mostly. Oh man, we should
Very
talk
good,
some
very good.
that was
Quotes.
a good
MB
one.
and I were going back and forth with the quotes while we were waiting for you to.
It's hard not to. It's hard not to. That's a
But
cool.
don't worry, it's over now. It's over. Game over.
Game over, man. Game over. We're fucked.
All right. Well,
Not smart, Ripley. You're not being smart here. Well, Weasel he was.
Oh yeah, great Weasel though. All right. Well, listen, that was our review of Alien Romulus, getting a 6.8 on the Just Go Watch scale. Good, but could it have been better? Absolutely. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Instagram, Just Go Watch, Twitter, X, Just Go Watch. We're out there now. You can search us up.
Yeah.
Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, everything. All
Leave us
that. Rate us
reviews.
5 stars on
Yes.
podcast. We're asking a lot from you. I appreciate that. Which is why, obviously, you need to send a little screenshot over to MP and he'll send you something nice. But there's only one way that you are going to know if you like Alien Romulus, and that is
Just go watch, man. Just go watch.
Perfect.